Uh, Drue, obviously you worked with the same long snapper over the last few years in Liam McCullough, and Matt said that Bradley is in line to take over that spot. Just from your end, obviously receiving some snaps, how has he been?
Right. I mean, that's kind of been the elephant in the room in the special teams unit. Liam did a great job for the 4 years he was here, and it's going to be a new transition for me and Blake. It's going to affect field goal and punt, but yeah, I mean, it was great this whole off season. We kind of had a chance to work more one-on-one since we had that time off, and both Rowan and Brad, they showed a tremendous amount of progress, and especially just from last year, they've taken a big step. But I think Brad does have that upper hand right now, and he's taking the majority of the ones right now, and I feel pretty confident.
You said you guys did one-on-one work. What did you guys do kind of during the quarantine and throughout the off season, being limited in practice time?
Yeah, really just finding an open field. We weren't able to be here at the Woody, but going down to the RPAC fields or finding another high school that's open, hopping the fence sometimes, just be able to get that work anyway. And yeah, I mean, we probably got more together, Brad and I did, than Liam and I did in a normal off season. So.
Next up is Colin Hass-Hill from 11 Warriors with Tim May on deck. Colin.
Hey, Drue, I was wondering, who do you think in your time at Ohio State has sort of been, your best punt gunner, and who do you think is in line to maybe play that role and have your trust this year?
I mean, there's been so many guys. I mean, it's hard. I think, first one was Denzel. I mean, he was hard, and I didn't think anybody would surpass him. And then, here comes Terry, and I think Terry was probably the one that stands out to me the most. He saved me a lot of times on those pooch punts. I remember the Michigan State game 2 years ago when we were there. The first one I had that he batted down back into the field, I mean, that ball would have landed 3 yards in the end zone if he wasn't there. So, I mean, that play kind of stands out to me. But, I mean, they've all been incredible. Chris has been just as wonderful the last, couple years. And, yeah, I think guys, I mean, it's definitely a role that they take a lot of pride in. And, I mean, I was trying to think when the last gunner wasn't a first-round pick. So, there's big shoes to fill, and they put the best guys there for a reason. So.
Who do you think's in line to fill that this year?
I mean, Chris is still going to be doing it. And I think Proctor's doing it a little bit too. I mean, they're cycling guys in right now, just seeing who can fill that hole. But I'm confident anybody they put out there is going to be able to get the job done and maybe even surpass some of the greats we've had.
All right, next up is Tim May from the Tim May Podcast and Letterman Row with Pat Murphy on deck. Tim.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. I was wondering, Drue, how are you balancing being married, et cetera? How much of a challenge has it been during this COVID-19 era, et cetera? How much has it crimped your style, and how much have you blossomed being married?
Yeah, it's been great. It's kind of been like a long honeymoon, honestly, because we got married right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Before everything shut down, we snuck it in. I can't tell you how many weddings she planned that had got canceled because of everything, and we ended up just kind of eloping. Yeah, I mean, I'd say we're still in the honeymoon phase, and things are going great. It's kind of like living with your best friend at this point, so it's fun to come home, and I'll sneak her a to-go meal every now and then, and she's happy. So her cooking's good too. Put on a little weight during quarantine, not gonna lie, but half-hour cardio every other day has gotten that down a little bit, but it's been great. I have to adjust to this, but I don't know, these things I'm not going to wear it. I'm going to wear it during the game, and I haven't noticed any problem with it yet, so it's going to be good.
Hey, one other thing, I had a lawyer guy on my podcast several weeks ago, and we were talking about the name, image, and likeness situation, and you came up because, you could be possibly, shilling for a soft drink company or a water company right now if that was in vogue. Or do you feel like you're missing out on an opportunity that other people will benefit from down the road, if you follow my drift there?
Well, I mean, I owe a lot of credit to Ohio State. I don't think I would have that platform without Ohio State. I would just be flipping water bottles, and maybe I have like 1,000 followers of like some niche people that are interested in seeing water bottle flipping. But now I'm the Ohio State punter that flips water bottles. That also flips the field on Saturdays. That brings a little more attraction to it. And obviously I'm going to try to take advantage of it once I'm done here. But I could have made a few bucks while I was here. That's without a doubt. And, but, I owe a lot of that to Ohio State, so I have no problem with, kind of putting in my time now and then kind of reaping the rewards afterwards. So.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
Alrighty, next up is Pat Murphy from 247 Sports with Jeremy Birmingham on deck. Pat.
Hey, Drew. When we talk to a lot of the skill position guys and things like that, you ask about goals, they talk about potentially statistics or even awards, things like that. Punting, I think, is a little different. And I know we've talked to you before about when you're on the field, it means the offense didn't do what they wanted to do. So what does a punter, and you in particular, what are the goals you have going into a season at this time of year?
Yeah, we just want to be the best punt team in America. It's pretty easy to look at a punter. You can look at distance, hang time, average, and kind of, look at all those things, rank the punters. But, I look at it more as just like a punt team in whole. Net obviously is the number I look at the most because that directly impacts the game. And as long as we're the number one punt team in America, that means I did my job and our punt team did our job as a whole. And we, put our defense in the best position possible and even bailed out our offense sometimes. So that's kind of my personal goal. It's been my goal ever since I've been here. So.
I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but does punting as little as possible come into that? Because that means the offense did its job?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we certainly, that's one thing we don't do around here a lot is punt, but you just got to take advantage of those opportunities when you get it. Doesn't matter if it's, fourth quarter when the threes are in, that punt statistically it's going to matter just as much as, a big punt. So you got to treat every punt the same.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
All right, next up is Jeremy Birmingham from Letterman Row with Clay Hall on deck. Jeremy.
Drew, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, I know that from a positional standpoint, your room is as close as any of the other rooms in the football program. But position by position, if one guy's the punter, you're like the punter for 4 years, right? Like that's sort of the way it goes. With a new punter coming in next year and Jesse now signed and being over from Australia, what kind of role do you play in helping prepare him or develop him? Because it's not like linebacker where you're teaching the play, right? Like you're just punting. What is the role you play moving forward?
Right. I think it's pretty similar to Cam's role when I first got here. Obviously, I might not be here as much because I redshirted that first year. So I was able to have Cam and watch him his senior year, arguably his best year, and kind of how he just handled the game situations. But definitely, if I come back and visit or, just calling from afar, giving him some tips of just kind of how to get adjusted. Obviously, he's in a different circumstance than I was because, I was a high schooler coming into college, 17, 18. He's already 23. I'm 23 leaving. So he's going to probably be a little more mature than I was just when I got here as far as physically and everything. So I don't think he's going to have a problem with that, but just kind of, working the mind during the game and also, handling school and academics at the same time. It's going to be, it's a learning curve for everybody. And so I'd definitely give him some tips on how to do that.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Yep.
And next up is Clay Hall from WSYX with Spencer Holbrook on deck. Clay.
Hey, Drew, back to the bottle flipping now that you're kind of an adult dude, married, serious guy. Is your skill level still up to snuff on the flipping expertise there?
I would say so. I have kind of taken a little bit of a break from it, just kind of social media in general, just with all the craziness going on. And it's kind of good to just stay in your own little bubble. But, I still got it. Every now and then a guy will challenge me in the locker room to a little bottle flip contest. And, still got to assert my dominance there. But certainly not as much as in the past. But I still got it.
But all those videos are legit. That's not editing. You're that skilled.
It would take me longer to edit those videos. I'm sure Zach could figure out a way to do it pretty quickly, but me personally doing that, it would take me way longer than actually just sitting there for a couple minutes and landing it. So.
And you're still the king.
Oh, 100%.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Next up is Spencer Holbrook from Letterman Row with Stephen Means on deck. Spencer.
Drew, do you feel like you were at an advantage during this quarantine because you are in a position where you can just hop a fence and go kick a ball as long as there's a 60-yard field to kick on? Or
60 yards, thanks. That's a little generous, but thank you. No, I think I got into a really good routine this off season, just kind of having my own, schedule, putting it together. I'd go lift. I'd go kick and then hit legs right after it. Sometimes here, Coach Mick's got his program. You're just trying to find a way to find fresh legs to go kick. So, I was able to kick probably 2-3 times a week and then get legs in right afterwards. So, as far as health-wise, yeah, I found a really good routine, and we've kind of been able to continue that since I got back, talking to Coach Mick and, implementing that. And so I'm on like a more of a special routine now than I have been in the past, which, it's been nice. My legs feel good. I feel strong.
We've seen a lot of like special teams blunders since the season started. Maybe teams didn't focus on it as much as they probably should have in the offseason with the weird offseason they had. How important is it to get that stuff down right now, so when you guys play Nebraska or Penn State the next week, that you don't have some of those early season gaffes in special teams?
Right. Yeah, we're aware of it. They show us, crazy things are happening. And, we're able to look at those things and kind of learn from them. Coach Barnes does a great job of, emphasizing all the little details so those things don't happen. And, as long as we keep the same routine we've been doing the last couple of years as far as punting and all the other special teams, I don't see us, having those blunders that you've been seeing around college football this season. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, next up is Stephen Means from Cleveland.com with Nathan Baird on deck. Stephen.
Hey, Drue. How similar is a relationship between a long snapper and a punter to that of a quarterback and a center?
I think very similar. I talk to him just about every snap. Most of the time, as long as it's a good snap, I don't notice it. So if he comes up to me and says, "How was that snap?" and I'm like, "I don't know," that means it was a good thing because, I'm more locked in on just the punt. But yeah, we watch a lot of film and we critique each other a lot. And, you got to have a good relationship. That's the guy giving you the ball. If you're not on the same page, bad things are going to happen. So.
All right, next up, Nathan Baird from Cleveland.com with Bill Rabinowitz on deck. Nathan.
Hey, Drue, I have another name, image, and likeness question. Some of the opponents of that reform have argued that when you have players gaining or earning different amounts of money, that it can cause sort of resentment within the locker room, within the program. I suppose there'd be a gap between what a backup offensive lineman might make and then what you could do with your skills, and then probably another jump up to, let's say, a Heisman Trophy finalist quarterback. So I guess just what's your response to that thought? Do you think it would be a problem within a team when you start having these various incomes?
I think it could. I don't know if it'd be any different than already the attention, maybe Justin gets over the attention I get. Obviously, there's now a monetary value added to that, so it could add a little bit, kind of a division in the locker room, which I think there's going to have to be some kind of regulation to avoid that. I was fortunate, Stamp, there was actually a little, I don't know if it was like committee, but I was able to talk to a lot of, higher up people in Ohio State and kind of pick my brain. I think along with Zach Harrison, he was on the Zoom call as well, and kind of just got our opinion on it because Zach's, probably going to be able to make some money off of this when this comes out in the next couple of years. And I'm kind of on the tail end, maybe being able to make some off of this. So they've got some really good ideas. Obviously, nothing's set in place right now. They're still trying to figure it out. It's going to be interesting. It could change college landscape, forever. So.
All right, and our last questioner for Drue will be Bill Rabinowitz from the Columbus Dispatch. Bill.
Hi, Drue.
Hey.
So give me a sense of Brad Robinson's personality. We're used to the McCulloughs who have their quirks. What's Brad like?
Every specialist got their own little quirk. Brad's more chill, I'd say. He does his job. He gets his job done. He loves the weight room, so I'm a big fan of that. We do our little Monday morning bench competition every Monday with Coach Nico. So I think he's going to be great. Everybody's got their own little quirks, and maybe I'll let you question him on his own little things. But I think he's going to be great. So.
And a completely different topic about COVID. This is kind of a cloud that hovers over everybody in college football and everybody everywhere. How much do you guys worry about it? How comfortable do you feel with the precautions that Ohio State's taken? Just anything about that?
No, I mean, if anything, we've exceeded the precautions. I mean, you see here, I'm wearing a mask and I'm on a Zoom call, if that tells you anything. So I feel very comfortable with coming into the Woody every single day. Now that we're doing the daily testing too, you know, I mean, we take it to another level and just making sure everything is sound. I mean, you see what just happened to Florida. I mean, you know, that was brought up to our attention, you know, after the team meeting, just how you know, fragile everything is. You know, one guy gets it, it could spread to a whole locker room, especially with the units that we have and how tight our team is. Guys spend a lot of time together, so you got to be really conscious of it, and I think they do a great job emphasizing that around the whole team. So.